Of the Rochester Downtown Development Authority for Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. Madam Director, the roll, please.
Ben Giovanelli.
Present.
Mayor Salvia.
Here.
Bob Bloomingdale.
Here.
Tanya Karsten. Eric Diana. Bob DiTomaso.
Here.
Lisa Germani Williams. Paul Hay.
Here.
Roger Knapp.
Yes.
Tony LaPuma.
Here.
Missy Plez.
Here.
Don Sikowitz. And Marilyn Trent.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Excellent. Thank you. Good evening. And as I was walking in here, I just couldn't get the B-52's Quiche Lorraine out of my head as it's the skies were charcoal gray. It's a dreary downtown day. So thank you, everybody, for putting time aside for us this evening on this really not great night. So we appreciate your commitment to the downtown of Rochester. First thing on the agenda, approval of the meeting minutes from April 16, 2025. Any questions or a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Motion by Haig. Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Support by DiTomaso. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Audience comments. I need the crickets thing. So no audience, but I would like to welcome our newest board member, Missy Plez. Missy, thanks a ton for doing this. We are super stoked to have you on board. It's going to be super fun. You know, you're coming at a great time, right? So we just, you were just at the groundbreaking for the Graham, which was fantastic. We got to spend a little time together, but super grateful for you to accept this, you know, be careful what you ask for, right? Yeah, no, it's going to be super fun.
Especially on a gray day. I was like, oh, I could be at home in my pajamas.
Right, yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. So, but we thank you for that. You know, Mike was on for a number of years, and we're looking for the yang to the yin, so this is going to be good. So
We'll
thank you.
see how it goes, huh?
Yeah, right, 100%. But anyway, so thank you for your commitment to the
Thank you.
downtown.
Can she introduce herself?
Take a minute to tell everybody else, as we all know, but maybe the folks on TV don't.
Yeah, okay. I am Melissa Plez. Most people know me as Missy. I am the owner of Rochester Mills Beer Company. We are coming up on our 27th anniversary in the next couple weeks. So, been around for a lot of different changes in the city. I'm looking forward to working with everybody and kind of seeing what comes next.
Fantastic.
So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Thank you for that. The mayor's always here to tell me, she does a lot more meetings than I do, so. Off to the liaison reports. First on deck, and really the only one that we got to. City Council, the Honorable Marilyn Trent. Good evening.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. So each council meeting, we have a nonprofit or a school come and present to us to begin our meetings. And
Is your microphone on?
maybe I'm not close enough.
Thank you.
Okay, present to us.
Yeah, we can hear you.
And it's really nice to start our meetings like that, learning about our wonderful nonprofits in the community. On April 28th, Keenan Thomason, the Rochester High School instrumental music director from West Middle School, presented. Quite impressive. Not to say I have a near and dear to my heart is band. Both of my daughters were and took music, and my youngest was in band, marching band. I remember that every morning at, I don't know, 6:30 in the fall, and I knew it was fall, and there's our stuff.
my alarm clock every day.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, there is studies out there that if you play a musical instrument, it's called teamwork when you're in those bands with your teammates, learning how to play music together with cooperation, reciprocity. And they have the most successful people in work and in life. Well, you know, higher percentage, right? Okay, so I digress. So Rochester Community Schools is the best community schools for music education in the state of Michigan. They're one of 21, so that's really high honors. They now they teach preschool through high school, and they added strings. And they have Rochester Community School Orchestra program since 2018, and so it was very impressive. We got to listen to 540 students come together and play together, which is a miracle. Have you ever tried to teach little kids how to play? Then you'll understand that. So anyway, that was great. We had on to something very important is our public hearing regarding the consideration of the 2025-26 fiscal year proposed budget millage rate with a millage rate to support it. And that was Very well presented. The city council has been working on it for several months. I think Councilman Member Giovanelli understands that. And it was a balanced budget with the same level of services and no increase in taxes. It's an $18,620,432 budget, and it's in the black at the end of this fiscal year. And actually, 3 years out, it will be in the black. Their statement was, your future is created by what you do today and not tomorrow. So yeah, don't spend all your money at once. Don't overspend. So just to know where your taxpayer dollars are going, they are very strategic as the departments picked out the needs that they had that would give the best bang for the buck for each department's services. So public and safety enhancements were added for, that were body cameras and equipment replacement for the police department. They're upgrading antiquated gear with modern equipment, enhancing safety, accountability, and operational effectiveness. The emergency medical dispatch and emergency fire dispatch will have some new systems which will reduce response times. In an emergency, you do want them to get there the fastest as possible, and they want to improve resources deployment, enhancing outcomes during critical calls for service. And we do have a wonderful emergency medical dispatch service. Expanded dispatcher coverage that with a future addition will ensure peak service hours are fully staffed, improving 911 responsiveness and call handling capacity during high volume times. And then we get into technology modernization and cybersecurity. We need that, and we need it to be new and replaced when needed. So they're doing a server replacement and transition to Microsoft Cloud. I should have invested in Microsoft, but I didn't. Infrastructure, protection, and community navigation. On that is the parking deck gate equipment canopy on the east deck. That is in the DDA district. And we're following the installation of new gate systems. We're adding protective canopies to shield these gates. New gate systems need to be protected. They are not cheap. And so they will be now protected with canopies. And we have wayfinding signage expansion in partnership with the DDA. We will install new and refreshed signage beyond the DDA boundaries to ensure residents and visitors enjoy a more navigable and welcoming Rochester experience. I know this is usually a little longer than usual, but I think that everybody should know what
100%.
they're getting for their tax dollars and how careful. This is only a few minutes. The hours that it takes for them to put this together and the city council to filter through it. Yes, we just wanted you to know we're all doing our job in knowing for this wonderful community. So, and then last but not least, we have a no ground feeding ordinance that had second reading and adoption, not to feed your wild animals or any wild animals through ground feeding, but you can feed birds. Just want to throw something in there for the birds, our wonderful birds. So May 12th, another nonprofit director came to speak with us. Her name was Jennifer Landers, and the name of the nonprofit was the New Day Foundation, and they provide funds for people and families when someone gets cancer. And they've been in the community for 18 years. And that was kind of a slow day, evening. We have consideration to award the CDBG, which is Community Development
Block grant.
Block grant, that's right, sorry. Yeah, funds to the Mirwaza Incorporated. We gave them to them for the Park Path Improvement Project.
Sweet.
It's Mirzwa. Okay. And then we have one of our board members here that was nominated and appointed to the DDA, and there were others to the other boards and commissions, which I did not list. And last but not least, I don't know if you ever heard of it, but there is a new mini forest in the city of Rochester behind the community garden. I think I don't know when I'm going to stop talking about it, but I saw one more opportunity to say thank you to everyone who helped, and anyone can now come visit it and watch it grow 10 times as faster as a traditional forest. It's already filling out. It's perfect weather, which is cool and rainy. If you were a tree or a shrub, you would love this.
I know, I get it.
Yeah, so I'm just doing a plug for that as well. If
Right.
you were a tree or a shrub.
Let's
but
just
we are
hope we
not.
can disappoint them soon.
Right, please.
Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Any questions for our liaison? I just.
Should
I'm
we
sorry.
invite Marilyn up to like the big kids table? Like she's the only one at the
we talked
little
about, yeah,
kids
we
table.
had,
I
You're
think
good.
because all the articles about me, I felt like maybe I'm taking up maybe more space. than
Okay,
usual.
Max headroom, right?
You know,
No,
maybe
it's
I'll
good.
shrink down in the next month when no one's writing
You've
articles about
been
me
the
or
hardest
City of
working
Rochester.
person in show business around here, so we
Right.
appreciate your efforts. With respect to the budget, I just wanted to say, I wanted to thank the mayor for her leadership through the whole budget process. It was, it's always horse trading, and there's a lot of that goes on. And I also wanted to thank council for their unanimous support of the budget, which included our numbers. As you see later on the agenda here, apparently we have a housekeeping item, we haven't physically adopted it, so Anthony said we need to do that, so we'll do that later, not now. But Madam Mayor, I just want to thank you because talk about you guys, how hard you work and how everything, it's probably the most unforgiving job of the city because everybody's mad at you or they want something usually, so you were able to handle it with grace and just get it through the funnel, and we appreciate your efforts.
It's a labor of love. We
Yeah.
all love Rochester.
All right, with that, so thank you for that, appreciate it. Chamber of Commerce, Mr. DiTomaso.
Okay, so basically the topic for the night is the Memorial Day Parade of Heroes. The parade will be held Monday, May 26th, and it starts at 8 o'clock with the Rochester Flag Lane ceremony at the cemetery. And then from there, they will parade down First Street to Castell to Harding, to Livernois, south on Livernois, and it culminates at the Veterans Point Memorial. They're just south of Avon. And then I think it's new this year, following that, they're going to have hot dogs at the firehouse, 11:30 to 1:30.
Sweet.
So, and then Maggie said she also wanted to congratulate the DDA on the groundbreaking for the Graham, and she's eager to see the final results. So, and then I have a kind of blow-by-blow summary of the Memorial Day events and addresses and such. I don't know, give that to,
Yeah, for sure.
if we can get in the minutes or whatever, so.
Yep.
And that's it.
All right, fantastic, thank you
If
for
I
that.
could just tag on that,
Please.
if I can talk. So for the wreath laying in the cemetery, we're doing we have a beautiful speaker. He is a former U.S. Navy SEAL who's going to be speaking. His name is Adam Weiner. Great guy. He's going to be a great speaker. And we're going to recognize all of our veterans that are there. So I know Roger Knapp is going to be there. And so I hope you all come and join us and bring your favorite veteran.
Fantastic.
Sorry for my voice.
Yeah, no, it's good. You've also been running ragged as well. I know that your agenda has been, your dance card has been full. So the fact that it's just your voice
good.
is an amazing testament. Thank you for that. Historical Commission, Mr. Sinkowitz is not here this evening, so we will be eagerly awaiting his update next meeting. Principal Shopping District, Mr. Hague.
Okay, the PSD, sidewalk sales, and dancing in the street were sent to City Council for consideration, and the recap of farmers market opening day, which went very successfully. And we've heard lots of feedback from different businesses surrounding that deck now, that they were very happy because they had increased business on that day also.
Sweet.
That's it.
Go figure.
All right, fantastic. Well, it's the power of promotion, right? Thank you for that report. We appreciate it. On to general business items. Speaking of the market in the Graham, so as you are aware, we had our groundbreaking on Wednesday of last week. What's
It's
that?
in everybody's packet.
Oh, is it? Gotcha.
There's
All
a
right.
photo collage.
All the pictures of the collages in there, so
nice.
fantastic. Yeah, it was great. The weather was starting to look a little sketchy, and Christy and I were going back and forth, like inside, outside, inside, outside. So She gambled through the dice, did it outside, and by the grace of God, weather held up. Chief Cieslik brought the big truck out with a giant flag for a nice sunshade. But no, it was well attended. We appreciate, everybody's attendance and those that couldn't come. Of course, we made sure that we let everybody know who was really responsible in terms of the board. So I think it went well. I've heard, I always worked by the assumption that no news is good news or no bad news is good news. So nobody said anything bad, so I think we did okay. But now that's the easy part. The hard part is getting after it. So that is starting in earnest. And to that end, just a quick update, sort of where we're at. So I think the last time we were together, I told you we were going to extend the bid period a week or two because of it was kind of a compressed time frame, and we were being overly optimistic to begin with. And our construction manager, Sean Wimwald, said, yeah, we really need a week or two to kind of get the rest of these in. We're getting some good numbers and whatever. So let him have that. And I asked him, I've been in sort of regular contact, and he says, yeah, we're still sort of tracking to what we talked about, which is great. The only surprise item that has come up over the course of the last week or so, by the last week, 10 days, is apparently, and I'm an accountant, so forgive me, I'm just kind of doing what I'm hearing, but the grade that goes from the former animal hospital down to the parking lot, that whole area apparently is just fill dirt, and it's not very stable. So they did a ground bore sampling. It's the gift that keeps giving, this parking lot. So we had some engineering done. The soil bore people came back and said that we needed some pylon things or whatever. And Sean's like, yeah, I don't think so. Let's try and see if there's other options available. So we're currently in the other option stage right now. It's not anything that's going to, put the kibosh on the deal for all. It's just, whatever. It's just one of those things. We have to deal with it. The blessing and the curse of being the first community in Oakland County and in this area is that, back in the day, they didn't do things as well as they should have. And I'm sort of afraid to find out what's in there once they start pounding those things in the ground. But it's fine. Everything's fine. It'll work out. So we're waiting on those quotes. I'm hoping end of next week we should have some pretty good direction on it. But nobody's got their hair on fire, so I think it's going to be just fine. So we shall adapt and overcome, as they say. So as soon as I get information on that, I'll make sure to let you guys know, and then also send out to council just my regular update memo. So that's really the only sort of thing. And these things never go completely smoothly, but, we've done a fair amount of due diligence, of course, to make sure that we're doing it right. So very excited, still shooting for opening at Lanyap. Hopefully as much will be done, but that's still the target. So I will keep the hammer down on that one. I don't know, I guess I'll find out after probably next week when they're going to start taping stuff off and marking stuff off to do things. So I'll report back to you guys as soon as I know that. So as of now, to my knowledge, nothing has been done. So it's still the same. So parking lot's open, everything's normal. So really that's the biggest update with respect to that. And they'll kind of be fits and starts, I think, from a sort of a go-forward basis. Once we start active construction, Sean Rewald will make sure that, he's scheduling everybody in there to get it in and out as efficiently as possible. But I think the updates from here on out are going to be just sort of, where we're at, what's been going on, and that sort of thing. So very excited, and I think to a person, Mayor, I think we did good, right? So, yeah, so I think it went well. So that's really it. So with that, I don't know if there's any questions with respect to the Graham, or anybody has anything they want. Happy to answer. No. Hearing none, shall march forward. Next thing on the agenda is the adoption of the fiscal year 26 DDA budget. So as Councilperson Trent said, it's already been approved by council, but apparently Anthony has asked us for an official roll call vote, which I'm almost positive we did before, but whatever Anthony says, we give him.
Motion to approve the fiscal year 2026 DDA budget.
That's why I love the mayor. She's like,
Second.
pitter patter, let's get at her. All right, well, there's a motion and there's support. This is an expenditure of money, so it is a roll call vote. Madam Director, the roll call, please.
Ben Giovanelli,
Yes.
Mayor Salvia,
Yes.
Bob Bloomingdale,
Yes.
Bob DiTomaso,
Yes.
Paul Haig,
Yes.
Roger Knapp,
Yes.
Tony LaPuma,
Yes.
Missy Plez,
Yes.
All right, that is complete. So now everything is hard-coded, so thank you for that. Next on the agenda, City Manager Band, termination and release of easement at 203 East University.
Evening, everybody. So a couple of weeks ago, you guys officially absolved yourself of the little pocket park that was next to the depot. To allow that to go back to the private sector, so the Sackmars and Smiths that own that building would let the new tenant in the depot, which is Grant Kosh, he's gonna use that for outdoor dining and a gathering spot. So during that investigation of the area, Attorney Croft found that there was an easement that the city had approved years ago to use that officially. So we took it to city council, had them terminate the actual easement. So not only is this board absolved of any action there, same with the cities, we're both covered. So, and then just a quick second thing, we've been getting some C-click fixes, which is our way the public can say there's a problem in the city or a concern they might have, and they can go online, fill out a form, and then we're obligated, Jason Warner, our project manager, monitors all that, assigns it to the appropriate department head, follow up on it, then we follow up and let the people know what's going on. So I think there's been 5 instances of sidewalks that have heaved over the winter, a couple curbs and a couple of weird places within the DDA. So we have a budget item in your budget for sidewalks. So Jason Dickinson got bids on it. Unfortunately, like 2 of them are gonna cause a little bit of chaos for a couple of days. Bean and Leaf from, if you've ever walked in their front door, from, that, it's a kind of a trapezoid, that whole corner's gotta come out and be repoured. So we're gonna work with them they'll have to use a side entrance for a couple of days. We're gonna try to pour it late at night, maybe even on a Saturday night, to minimize the disruption. And there's one by Pinkley Tavern, there's one, you found a couple in Christie, I think,
Yep,
too.
there's one right next to Keller Williams.
Keller Williams, yep.
There's a big
A
divot
big
there.
chunk, yeah.
There's a big chunk there. Yep, there's a few different ones
Yeah,
around.
so we're aware of them, and we let the people know that, let us know about them, that they're going to be replaced quickly. So the contractor's gonna mobilize as soon as they can, get them all done in one day, so just give you an update on that.
All right, sweet, thank you. Yes.
And if I can just add for the Depot Plaza, so for us, we were handling all the maintenance over there. So one of the things that was our last obligation to that property was when Catching Fireflies was vacating that, the owner of the property, Andy Sackmar, wanted to clear out the whole landscaping around the building so he could paint. So we did that with the promise of when the new tenant came in, that we would replace that landscaping. So that has happened, that has been paid for, so that we are completely out of that. And then the property that we still have had in the park were 2 picnic tables that were relocated to the temporary farmers market. And then the light poles, which obviously we're not pulling the light poles, but we would still have, if there's repairs or anything needs to be done, that we would still be responsible for those. We didn't want to turn those 3 city light poles over to,
Yeah, no.
to them. So those are still ours, but other than that, we're out.
Well, the commitment is significantly less than it was. So,
Sure is.
yes.
Absolutely. So
Fantastic.
that's it.
All right, any questions for the city manager? Madam Mayor?
Well, I just want to clarify, because we love our trees. There is the tree that will come down as a part of this. The tree is dying, so, but it is a Christmas tree. We may have some emotion around that. However, it is a dying tree, and that will come down as part of the approved landscape plan.
It's got oak, it's like a blister blight on the, it's a blue spruce, it's been there a long time, so they wear out eventually, so they're.
Yeah,
you're
and there
right,
is a
people will
beautiful
notice that,
shade
so.
tree on the other side. At Planning Commission, we talked about other shade on the property, and, they're aware, so it's okay.
Is what it is. I've got one at my house. When you guys done, you can come get that one. Same exact condition. Okay, any other questions for the city manager? Seeing none, Mr. Marchfire, thank you, Mr. Manager. Love Local Art Committee Report, Madam Director.
Hello. So the committee has been meeting monthly. I wanted to give you an update, and then I had placed something in everybody's seat tonight that I wanted to go over with everyone. So we are working on 2 different things. We are working on the citywide art plan that the board charged us with back in February, goals and objectives. So we're working on that piece, and then we're also working on specifically the mural for the market. So I'm going to start with the long-term plan for the city art plan. We pulled out the vision sessioning maps from 2021. Anyone who was at that, you might recall that we did a point where we had maps and had people draw where they would like to see art in town, which at the end of the day, we did a whole spreadsheet about it, was pretty much everywhere. but still, it was a fun exercise. So we looked over that. But we really didn't get too specific into what type of art are people interested in seeing around town. So part of our public input piece of this is that we are going to do one of our favorite activities at some summer events called Dotmocracy. If anyone's ever done Dotmocracy with us, it's where we put up a list of types of art, and then we're going to give people 3 dots, and they can rank their top 3 of what they'd like to see. We're going to be doing that in June at the Makers Market event. We'll do it again in July at the Farmers Market event. We'll have volunteers staffing it that'll be able to ask questions, talk to people, get some additional input, because everyone always loves to give input, so we want to make sure that we're there to capture all of that. So we'll be doing all of that. In addition to that, we've already started reaching out to different partner organizations that either are involved in art, have art within their property, or just are some way connected to art. And then we're going to be getting everybody together to start talking about future plans, see where people are going, ideas that they might have, things they'd like to see if there might be some economies of scale, how we might be able to partner together, endeavoring to eventually create a short, mid, and long-term plans for art around the city of Rochester. And last but not least, we also this summer will be endeavoring to create an art inventory so that we can identify. There's a lot of art around that I bet you people don't realize is here. We've already started discovering, where's that? And a fun one, I don't know if anybody's been by Pink Creek Center for the Arts. They put in like a little library. They put a little free art studio. It's so cute.
It's got
The
all
art
the
is this
decks in
big.
it. It's got the decks inside.
Yeah, they did little decks. They actually, it's phenomenal. You have to go see it. So it's super cute. And that just went in. They were going to do a little bit more of it. They did a whole exhibition in their studio for deck art. They have 30 decks up there. Awesome. They hung some, so they twisted because they were two-sided. They had food up there, and then they had people creating pieces of art that then they put into the little free art gallery.
Fun.
Hilarious. It's adorable. So we're really excited about that. So that's all going really well. But in terms of short-term projects that we're working on, at everyone's seat tonight, what I have for you is a draft of the call for artists. We're looking for direction on what we want the mural to be for the farmers market. This, again, if anyone's not familiar, the Huntington Bank backs up to the farmers market lot currently. It's a big cream wall, and we're going to endeavor to make that something. So, working with the people on the committee, talking to mural artists to see if there's a call for artists going out, what direction they like to receive, rather than just making a general, who knows what we're going to get back kind of situation. So these are the keywords that we came up with and included in the project vision. We talked about wanting it to be vibrant, harmonious, fresh, and farm-inspired. We're kind of back and forth about history. A lot of other things kind of popped up, and it just, for some reason, the farm, because it's looking over, we think that it could have some historic roots to it, but we wanted it to be something that makes sense with the farmer's market. We didn't want it to be generic, so it could be anywhere. No matter what else happens, the farmer's market will always be taking place there, so it would make sense that way, because that's 26 weeks out of the year just for the outside. So that's the direction we went. So what I wanted to do is see how everyone is feeling about this direction. Certainly, we are open to any ideas or comments, and then we will refine this, and then we'll start putting together the actual official application and getting it out to the masses so that we can get moving. Because it's a couple-month process to onboard somebody and then have contracts, and I have to show it to the building owner and the tenant to make sure that it's acceptable, and then get this on the schedule, and on and on and on.
It's a thing.
It's a thing, as is everything that we do.
So are you looking for sort of to go around the table and?
Yeah, I'm just interested as everybody feels that if they want to go in the direction that the committee is recommending, and if yes, then if you want to add anything to it, or if no, then tell me where you want to go.
Gotcha. Board?
I mean, I think this summarizes pretty well. I read through the bullet points of it and such. I like the direction, and, obviously, people are going to interpret it differently. I'm sure you will get a variety of, different looks and takes, but I think I like it better than just making it, wide open to whatever.
Yeah, and that's where you're trying to be, exactly what you said, Bob. We're trying to be respectful of artists being artists. We want them to be creative, but we want to give them a little bit of a lane so that they know what we're expecting, so we don't get, as I kept using the example, a big, rock and roll mural looking over this, which is fine, but maybe not what we're looking for.
Yeah, for sure.
Would you,
Unless you're playing
it
fruits and
looks
vegetables.
good.
Sorry. Madam, hold on one second, Madam Mayor.
So I hear your thought on historic, and so I'm not quite sure how to put that in there. I agree that it wants to be current and vibrant, but hey, we always love our historic lens. So I don't know, maybe the word historic just needs to be in there somehow, like,
Sure. The other thing that went, because we were talking about this a lot, and we feel like the Graham itself is where our history is going to land. And so I
Yeah.
think that's why they weren't as concerned about it, but I can certainly see if I
well,
can work it
okay,
into the
I hear
lens
you.
there.
I hear you.
So I think
Okay,
that's really going to be the place.
I hear you. Good.
Well,
I'm
just
sorry,
to-
Mayor, sorry. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am, go.
just to piggyback onto that a bit, because I was just trying to figure out how do you keep it fresh and creative while also balancing some sort of hysterical.
Yes,
That is hysterical.
Historic.
not too hysterical. I
Is this
can't
only
deal with it.
Wednesday?
Right?
A historical element or something that, if some artist came up with a Rochester-related element that maybe would fit into all of this. I don't know, you could give them an extra few points, or it works.
Yeah, sure. That's like I wrote down +1 for historic lens.
Just
something
a
like that.
little.
Maybe there's a little historic figure like in the bottom or something.
Yeah, maybe it's a little Easter egg.
Character,
James Graham
an
doing
Easter
nothing
egg, yeah, an
about it.
Easter egg.
Where's Waldo? Where's
Yes.
that Rochester historical element,
Yeah.
Mr. Haig?
We'll just put a Waldo. We'll
Yes.
put James
Yeah.
Graham with a Waldo
Little
head on.
Graham.
That's
Yeah,
all.
sure.
But I think it's great.
Yeah,
I
it's
do.
good.
I'm really excited that you're looking for, and I like the fact you're looking for professional muralist and experience visual.
Well, Tony and I
We
were going to
just
do
felt
with a
like that-
roller and a brush. but
Yeah,
we
for
figured-
sure. We'll definitely consider that. But yeah, we just felt like it's so big, and they're going to need scaffolding and all these things. And I love the idea of community art, but we have other projects that we can get the community involved with. This, we need somebody. Perfect.
This is a big deal.
This is a big deal.
And
I
it
have
needs
another
to be.
question.
Yes, ma'am.
So when we screen the artists, are we looking for people that are local or have a local connection? Because I do know an artist that has a local connection, but is in California. She's very seasoned, very experienced, but what is the thought from the committee standpoint on that?
They were not restricting it in that
Okay.
way. There is an opportunity when they submit it to put in an artist statement, and I would hope that any artist that does have Rochester roots would include that in their artist statement of why they're interested in this project and what they do. I think
Okay.
that would be of value to the community. So we did talk about local versus not local, but we don't want to limit the pool so much, because to find a professional Rochester-connected muralist might be not, yeah, it might not be as easy as we might think. We do want to have some variety and some selection to go through. So, yes.
All right, and this is a DDA-supported project. It's in the budget. Is it, how much do we have set aside for it?
So we had originally put aside 20,000 for this, and that was inclusive of material.
Gotcha, okay.
So that's what kind of where we were going. There might, it's a grant that pops up between now and when we
Yeah.
get going, but as of right now, it's 20,000 is
okay.
what I found in the paperwork.
Yeah, it's
so.
already been set aside for it, so that was part of our budget. Yes, ma'am.
Is it going to be put in the proposal?
It is, that's why Ben was bringing it up, so we can confirm it tonight. Yeah, just wanted to make sure everybody's.
Well, artists don't want to waste their time.
Correct,
I do
and
know
so
that's
we wanted to put that in, and I believe that we are looking at, you can do an honorarium plus material. I thought of 20,000 all in, sort of not to exceed, if you will, so then, just like we do with like the sheep and, in the past, or the snowmen, whatever they spend, and that's as far as it goes,
Yeah.
so they're
But
responsible
the
for all
committee
of
will
it.
vet those, and
Correct.
it's not like we're going to give you 20 grand for a $2,000 thing and say.
Correct.
Keep the change. Yeah.
Look at that
Yes.
mural on Main Street.
That was done by Jake Dwyer, he was a muralist the DIA found, he's actually out of Detroit.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you realize this, it's spray paint.
It is.
He did the whole thing with spray paint. It was phenomenal to watch. Because when he first rolled up and he put up his scaffolding, I went to say hi to him, and he had this whole box of spray paint pans. I'm like, huh, okay. But he was so precise with, it was crazy to watch. Really fascinating.
Yes. Graffiti guys. are the
Crazy.
best.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll defer to the committee, of course. What I don't
Oh,
want to.
Bob is
I'm sorry,
waving.
please.
So two things. Is there a way to address like a durability requirement or expectation?
There'll be a separate sheet that actually has all of those specific requirements, the type of material they have, that we're requiring, the sealant, all of those kinds of things.
Okay.
This was just more I didn't want to get into brass tacks with everybody here unless anyone's interested in that. I can bring that back. but
No,
this-
I want to make sure that it's there
Yeah,
2 years, 5 years, some reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, all truth be told, we're kind of using the DIA agreement for the Main Street mural as a template, because it had all those things.
Yeah, and it's
Good.
weathered
It's still here.
beautifully.
Yep, it's weathered beautifully, and it also has the things about if the building ownership changes hands, like a lot of different things
Oh,
to
okay.
protect the mural, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I thought I had is, maybe you could reach out to Pat McKay and see if he's, maybe wants to toss in a paragraph or two of guidance, maybe to go along with your vision.
I don't know if we want to go that deep.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Just-
I don't know.
Or you could list him as a resource.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
We can certainly
Yeah,
do that.
that's good. As a resource.
Yeah, we
'cause
can do that.
he's-
Yeah, it's, I think to Christie's point, we don't want to pigeonhole somebody, but we
Right.
also, to me, there's going to be some plus ones, right? So a plus
Yeah.
one for, having something of historical value towards it and having all of these other criteria met. But what I don't want to end up with is a Pontiac Aztec, right? Where we got
Correct.
8 million people all giving their input and we end up with something that nobody likes, so don't want to do that. Aztec,
They'll be collector's items someday.
You don't know that vehicle?
oh dear.
Oh,
yeah.
my.
It's a famous vehicle that was designed by
So
committee.
ugly.
like
It was
ev-
so ugly.
Yeah, it's designed by committee by General Motors. Anyway,
Yep.
it's a long story. It's an acronym for just
Yeah, don't
too
go
many,
there.
too
Don't go
many,
there.
too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Yeah, I kind of remember it now.
Got
I
it.
probably blocked it out.
All right, so, Madam Director, do you have your?
I do.
Direction, you're
Thank
good?
you.
All right, so from going forward, really, if you're using the DIA template, I mean, just go, right, so.
Yeah, we'll end up getting Jeff Pratt involved once we get a little bit, because we'll have to have an agreement with Brad Mitzelfeld.
Right, on the building, for sure.
On the building.
Yep. Okay, all right, well, just
Yep.
keep us updated, and pitter patter, let's get at her. So,
Yep.
nice work, thank you for that. We thank the committee, because I know, again, this is, all free work
Right
that
on
people
this
only
down.
do because they love the community, so we appreciate that effort. All right, with that, we are down to the 5-yard line, about to punch it in the end zone, people. Executive Director update, Madam Director.
Yes, if you haven't already let me know, I need to make the registrations for the main event. It's a very short drive, it's at the Roxy. The invitation is included in your packet. There is a light dinner and awards. We are up for 3 different items. We are up for Small Business Initiative of the Year for the Amin-Ra St. Brown Cake with Home Bakery. For a Special Event of the Year for the Kris Kringle Market Expansion, and for Volunteer of the Year for nomination for our chairman, Ben Giovanelli.
Oh, dear.
So very excited. We won't know until we actually walk in the room if we're getting anything, but, dress to impress. But we get free
Black and
tickets.
white theme.
Yes.
Is it,
we-
I'll wear my Abe Lincoln suit.
Yes,
with
it's
my
all
big
black and
stovepipe hat.
silver is the theme. But it'd be great if we could have a nice showing since it's here and we're being nominated for some things. Also, since it's the 25th, I think there'll be some recognition for us because we are the OG community. We are the first Main Street Oakland
We're
County
OG.
community.
We are
So I think there'll be a little bit of attention for that. So,
So the city manager will be there?
no, he's leaving. No, you're leaving. You're going to be gone. Aren't you? Oh, no, June 12th, you're
12th.
here. You have to go.
Thank you, city manager. I look forward to seeing you there.
It's going to be great. Yeah. What did,
Anyway,
Marcus talk about
but we
being
get some,
voluntold?
we get some comp tickets for having, because we're up for some nominations, and also because it's being hosted here, we get a few compy things. So I was going to register for everybody, so if you haven't already let me know when you're interested, please let me know by next Monday, Tuesday, or at least a Tuesday, so I can get everything registered, and certainly, if you want to bring a guest, let me know. But
Great. Looks like I'm
be
rescheduling
fun.
my Tampa trip again.
it'll be a fun time. So like I said, it's a short drive. It's right there.
No, I know.
I think I already told you, but you put me down for 2.
Put you down for 2? Okay. Marilyn, I had you down. Do you want 1 or 2?
Just put 2.
Okay.
I just
Nancy,
couldn't
2?
remember if I'd replied or not.
You said yes, and I said I'll get your
Okay,
ticket for you,
okay.
so, and then Nancy,
That's
same
2.
thing. Okay, for 2. Okay, perfect.
Hearty hors d'oeuvres.
Do you want 1 or 2? 2 for Paul? Okay, Paul, 2. All right, I think that was everybody else that had told me.
Yeah, well, at least
I'm
one.
staring at Ben.
Yeah, no, I'll be there. I just, I'm not sure if the boss is going to be there, though. I have to talk
Okay,
to
well,
her. so.
let me know, but
All
I'll
right, I
put you
will.
down for right now, so
I
that's
know.
that. Okay.
Perfect, yes, it'll be good.
Yes, so
What
that
else you
is,
got?
Let's see, so that's it on mine, and then just a couple notes from the ladies. Deck art is phenomenal. If anyone has had a chance to walk around and see the decks, they are so good this year, and they're great every year, but really exceptional this year. And a part of deck art that I don't know if everybody realizes is that the artists have the opportunity, if they'd like to sell their decks, and 100% of the proceeds go right back to the artist. We take nothing from it. And we've sold over 20 decks this year. We usually sell 10 to 12. So really fantastic. So they're on display through this Saturday, and then the artists will start picking them up next week. So if you haven't had a chance to get out and see them, super great. Really impressed with all of those. And then Farmers Market, which Paul alluded to, opening day was May 3rd, and we've just had some really gray, rainy days, but the people have found us. They're coming. Introduced some new vendors to the market since we have a bigger space, and they seem to be really enjoying what's happening. To fill in a little bit more for, we're allowing businesses to have a one-time presence out there, and a lot of businesses are taking advantage of that as well. But it's been doing really well for us, and we've been talking to some of the businesses right there on East 4th Street, and they've been opening earlier to take advantage of the market, and they said they've been doing super well with that. Still working out the traffic, a few little things around there because the market's super busy. It'll be very interesting once we do close the free lot where the market currently is, because a lot of people decided to park there as their market parking, which is fine until it's not going to be fine. We did have a call from your chef that.
I heard that today. Sorry
Yes,
about that.
Yeah, so people decided that they were going to ignore all the signs that say parking for the knitting mill only and park in that lot.
So that gravel lot next door is available?
Yes.
Just so that if that.
Yes, I talked to Sean and Frank about that, and they said
Right.
that was still okay. People
Yeah.
are still creatures of habit. They're still parking all the way down there. Fine. But we had our stride when produce rose in next month. So right now it's kind of biding our time. But between when we close that lot and everything, then we'll really be pushing people into the parking system, which I know that the city manager really enjoys.
First hour free in the parking structure, first hour free. You can buy your produce in 1 hour, first hour free.
There you go. And if you come early, the readers don't even turn on till 11 a.m.
All right.
So you really only have to pay for 2 hours at the market if you come later, so it's fine. But overall, we've been getting good response from the vendors, from the businesses, just, figuring out some things, but we're getting there.
It'll take a few and everybody to start to get it, so.
Yeah, we're getting there. I've been down, Taylor's been working each weekend just to make sure everybody's okay. I've been popping down each weekend to get pictures and talk to people, and overall, I think we're on a good place.
Again, nobody's yelling at me, so I think that I'll just take it as a victory. Right?
So we're good.
All right, anything else?
No, nothing from staff.
All right, got it. Events and marketing, was that sort of a combo there?
Yep.
Okay, so we've killed A and B. Financial report is in your packet. If you've got any questions for the director or myself, feel free to let us know. Biz Dev.
Biz Dev, well, there's lots going on. First of all, money was dedicated and has been put aside for the community center, and that's great, and we'll look forward to how soon that starts to be redone. I'm going to say Smith's Jewelers, that used to be, is turning into an English pub. And then DeMarco is going to put a second story on their building for a smash burger outlet or whatever.
Bar.
What?
Bar.
Bar, smash burger bar, okay? School board building is going on the market soon. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with the school building. Rochester Conservatory is so busy that they're looking for some bigger space. Spice and Tea will be opening another location in Franklin, Michigan.
Brighton.
Brighton.
Brighton, I'm sorry,
Brighton.
Brighton. And that's about it.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for that. Smash burgers, huh? That'd be interesting.
That's what we heard.
Yeah, that's what we'll see. All
Yeah,
right.
that's their idea. I mean, it has to go through planning commission.
Sure.
Correct, city manager? Okay, I mean, it's a cool idea, but we gotta see what it could look like, right? Okay.
It's in process.
Yep.
But it's good. It's just showing the reinvestment in the community.
Reinvest.
Ambitious project to put another layer on that place.
That's great. Site development, Mr. Chair, Vice Chair.
Just working on the gram, and my fault, we still have to meet on that pocket park. I was out of town, but I'm here now.
Yeah.
Next week?
Okay, I'm in, yeah.
Okay, I'll email around to
Yeah,
everybody.
no, you get a pass. You had stuff going on, so. And we did miss you at the thing, so, but
I know.
I made sure
At the
that
thing.
everybody was acknowledged, and we couldn't have gotten here without you, so thank you for that. And we know that you were in Naples dinking around, but it's okay.
there right now.
No, I know, no kidding, I'm with you.
Right
I'm with you
now.
100%.
We're a super supportive board, Missy, don't worry.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I'm hearing next DDA meeting is in Naples.
All right, yeah, no, Tony's place in Naples, it's gonna be great.
But
No, you had to
Tony,
go down there
this
and
is
do
great
such
mini
quick trips,
forest weather.
right?
Right, I know, it's all about the mini forest.
All about the mini
All
forest.
for the mini forest.
Right, well, it gets about one more day of this, and then I gotta, so my son, just real quick, goes to Clemson, and he's looking at the weather down in South Carolina, it's 80, 88 and sunny down there. I'm like, don't even tell me, I don't wanna know about it. Anyway, all right, with that, is there any other questions and/or miscellaneous comments from the folks? Mr. Manager?
Mr. Manager?
Let's give a Bart Mark update.
Oh.
Quick. So Christie and I kind of bludgeoned Bart into not retiring. Bart is the one that works.
Oh dear, okay,
So
got it.
He had put us on notice that last fall that he was probably gonna hang it up, and he's, how many years, 26?
He's been here as long as I've been here, so 26, 27?
He is an amazing human, what he
Yes,
does.
he
And
is.
he's so affordable, he just does stuff on his own. We've embraced him at City Hall, he does all the City Hall landscaping, things like that now. So he talked to us, and we started on him last fall, like, it's physically, it's just, he takes a beating doing what he does, and we're like, we really need your brains, not your brawn. And maybe there's a way you could staff up a little bit, partner with somebody so you could guide them and let them physically do it, Bart. So he found somebody. So you guys hear Mark, we call him Mark the Painter. Mark
yeah.
does a lot of, he's who's doing the fences downtown.
Yeah.
Anytime you need something done, we call Mark.
Yeah.
Mark can do anything. He has an army of people. So he's exactly the same mentality as Bart. It's like, get out of my way, I'll get it done, never says no. So we thought, let's put him in a room and see how that goes. Two bulls, definitely 8 personalities, but it went really well over the winter. We worked together. And so Mark's the brawn, his team, and Bart's teaching him. So we had a couple of glitches in the spring. The reason I'm bringing this up was we were going around, and the mayor and council have put a heavy influence on code enforcement this year. Just trying to make sure everybody's doing their job to keep the community proper, and a lot of it's weeding and grass and stuff, and so we're out there, I think the first week we wrote 55 notices saying cut your grass or we're gonna do it for you. And as we're driving around, Chief John's like, so who owns these 10 things? And it was us, the DDA. So Bart and Mark had a little disconnect on what he had to do, so he's cutting grass. He was really focused and excited about mulching and everything, so he got all the mulching done on Main Street. He's like, I got it all done. We're like, you missed all the parking lots. So Christie went out with them, Bart went around, so we're back on track. So we got a bunch of complaints like, hey, you're writing me a violation, look at it was around all the parking lots pretty much. So back on track, cut, everything's good. So, so those, I think the two of them together is a powerhouse that will get done. Bart seems really energized. He was here doing that.
Yeah, I mean, the way that we ended up splitting it up is that Bart is still doing all of the flowers.
Yeah.
So anything that's more the beautification kind of things, he's still doing the welcome signs, he's doing all the plantings downtown, those kinds of things. But all of the, like you said, more of the heavy lifting stuff is going to be Mark, and then eventually Mark will take over everything. But just as we were talking with Bart, as Nick said, he just wasn't ready to retire, but he just couldn't keep doing the level of what he was doing. So now he's getting to do what he is so very good at, and then training somebody up for us. And as a bonus, they ended up, we were expecting, as we had mentioned, to goals and objectives, an elevated contract, and they are doing it at the same rate, just splitting it. We'll see how that goes, but that's the current thing, is I keep calling Mark every day about grass. He might be raising our rate, so we'll see.
The grass in the pocket parks, like the pocket parks and the
That Mark
strip.
does.
They do.
Yeah, there's,
You gotta get on it, even like that strip
See?
between the sidewalk and the
there's
street.
a little, he had an issue with the mower, but they're fixing that, yeah.
And
So I don't need Chief John writing me up, stepping up the politeness and writing us tickets.
There's always bumps in spring, right?
Yeah.
The grass grows and the trees grow and it grows fast and we're happy, but there's always bumps in the spring.
Yeah.
Do
We'll
we
get
do
through it.
weed control, Christie, on these pocket
We do,
parks?
so that's something that Bart used to do, so that's one of the things that he's working with Mark, that Mark was thinking he was just cutting, and we're like, no, you need to weed and feed, so.
Yeah.
So Bart's working through all that stuff with him, so I think about once or twice a week, they go around together and figure some stuff out, so it's a little bumpy, but we're going okay.
That's good.
We'll get there.
And then in the city's budget and the DDA's budget, you both approved to upgrade the welcome signs around town. So we met with
wayfinding.
Eric yesterday, Nick Schaefer's taking that project over. So dollars will be available July 1st, Eric, or I think it's his name, Eric, he's ready to go. We're gonna meet, Christine and I and Nick are gonna meet with him, go over every single sign, because we've had The OPC wants to change some of their signage, Rochester University, so we're gonna catch all those before we go into.
And adding the
redoing
market and the
also.
Graham.
Yep, and the market and the Graham, yeah, so we'll, July 1st, he'll hit the ground running and redo the signs, so if there's a couple missing that we know where they're at, we found them.
Are we going to direct
Put 'em
people
back on.
towards,
They weren't stolen.
What
Yes,
course?
exactly, so.
are we going to direct people towards parking lots? I know that was one of the discussions.
Yeah, there's on some of the signs.
No,
there
the
were,
P,
The
just a
P.
yeah.
P.
We have the P, yep,
Wait, what?
yep,
We do have a parking meeting coming June 10th.
yep.
A lot of the signs don't tell you where the
I know,
decks are.
I know.
So
Yep.
that's,
The recommendation was just the P, parking this
Yeah.
way.
yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Got
Okay,
it.
thanks.
All right, don't forget the P. Anything else? All right, with that, meeting adjourned.
Again.